Every week I try to touch on the weekly Torah portion, and I want to share a quick thought with you about this week's Torah portion, which is Parshat Korach, which deals with a rebellion against Moshe, a rebellion against Moses, our teacher. Most people talk about the rebellion. I want to actually talk about Moses, who's actually criticized for the way he responded to this rebellion. At a certain point, Moshe was so frustrated and infuriated with this rebellion against his leadership that he said the words, Rav lachem b'nei Levi. It's enough already, you people of the tribe of Levi. And our sages actually teach us that Moshe is punished for using such strong words when trying to put down this rebellion. And later on in the Torah, when he asks God to let him go into Israel, God actually uses that same terminology, Ravlach, it's enough already, to teach Moshe the lesson that the words he used back in the rebellion of Korach were the wrong words. He shouldn't have spoken the way that he did. I'm not going to sit here and be someone who's critical of Moshe, who brought us our Torah, Moshe, our teacher, who gives us constant inspiration. But our sages teach us that even Moshe crossed that line, and we can learn from the mistakes of our leaders. The great Moshe was right in putting down the rebellion of Korach and coming out against it, but he should have used softer words. Leaders have to be very careful with how they say the things that they want to say. I can tell you, sitting in the Knesset, I saw that line crossed regularly, where in the course of a heated debate about important things and people are full of passion, we cross lines in how we speak to one another. There has to be a way to have high-level, intellectual, and passionate debate without crossing that line into putting down the other person too much, into letting it become personal. Moshe's line wasn't so bad if we were now analyzing it. Rav lachem, it's enough already. But Moshe was held to a very high standard, and he was expected to speak differently. We have to learn from that. And leaders reading the story shouldn't simply harp on the rebellion, which is what we do, these horrible people who rebelled, etc. Let's look at the criticism that's put towards Moshe and leaders rising to the occasion and speaking the way that a leader should speak. We as leaders have to inspire the rest of the nation. If we don't want to have people who get into a traffic accident yelling at each other in horrible ways, if we don't want to hear about domestic abuse where people in their homes are yelling at each other and saying the most horrible things, if we don't want to have people at the workplace, things breaking down to the point where people can't communicate with one another, we as leaders have to speak against our adversaries, political adversaries, in the most proper and uplifting.
This is Eve Harrow, host of Rejuvenation, hoping that you've already become a member of the Voice of Israel family of listeners. Subscribe today.